So Marcus says, what can we do to beat OSU?
Get healthy as possible. Offensively, I'm not going to call for them to do something they haven't done all year.
Correct.
So I would say just, do what you do well. Control the TOP, as Mark was saying earlier. Keep that OSU offense off the field, and where your defense is out there, try to limit the explosive plays. Be sound with your assignments. Try not to commit any penalties. Have a good fundamental tackling, and give yourself a chance.
And I know Michigan is not typically a team that you really ever see them double team a receiver, but in those third and obvious passing downs, Harrison Jr. is not one that you can just single up with. To me, I don't care what corner you get. And it's not. So I want to make it clear. I'm not saying DJ Turner's not good enough to cover him. What I'm saying is no corner in college football is good enough to cover that kid. He is that good. You need to double team him in some of those third and obvious passing downs. He is that good.
Yeah.
Because I think on an island, DJ and Fleming and has Jackson Smith and Jigba played at all?
Not really. He's been really spotty this year. Ever since the first game versus Notre Dame, he really hasn't been much of an impact for them.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why you've had the Marvis Harrison Jr.
As big as it has been. But yeah, for Michigan, I don't think they need to do anything different than how they have always played. Mm-hmm. It just can't look the way it did in the second half of this game.
No, it can't look sloppy. It has to look. They have to do what they do well. And unfortunately, it just, because of their play style, it just doesn't allow for a lot of room of error. You can't afford to get into a hole. You have to be front runners. You can't afford any penalties, really. Like, you can't have any holding calls, false starts, nothing like that. You have to stay ahead of the schedule. So it's just they have a very minute way of playing, and things have to pretty much go step by step for them to be as effective as they want to be. Especially if you're not going to have any home run plays.
Correct. Like dialed up, drawn up, pass plays where it's like, all right, let's take this shot.
Right.
That doesn't seem to be a habit of this offense.
Right.
Not saying it can't happen, right? Maybe they're saving it for Ohio State. It's possible, but I think it's unlikely. Larry Ball says, Dre, we can't make excuses for Andrell. He's got number one on. He's supposed to be him.
Oh, I agree with you there. I wasn't making an excuse. I was just saying, like, I think I know he should have caught that ball. I was just saying, like, man, I was putting myself in his shoes. I'm like, I ain't got the ball.
It was so funny. It was funny because you said that, like, and people around us were laughing because you were just like, I mean, if I only got to throw one ball every game, like, it'd be hard for me to catch that too.
Yeah, it's just like,
not quite warmed up.
Like, think about it, you're used to running your routes all game, and all of a sudden, like, oh wow, the ball's actually there.
I'm not used to this.
Yeah, you kind of get a little shaky. I was putting myself in his shoes. Of course, you should have caught the ball.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Antoine is not happy. So what do we have to do to beat OSU? He says we have to be able to complete a pass. I don't know what they're doing at practice.
It's I don't know, man. Like it definitely is not.
Maryland's up 13-10. That's interesting. Let's see. That's a good question. If Maryland beats OSU, do you feel differently about the game? Maryland's in the division, right?
Yeah, maybe. I think for me, I'm actually just more focused on what I saw today for Michigan. Would I feel a little bit different? Maybe a little bit. But it's, I honestly, more of how my opinion on Michigan, their chances about their game, about next week, is based on how they have played, and what they have shown they can do well or what they struggle with. Mm-hmm. So it might move that meter slightly for me, but not a ton.
Okay, perfect. Angel. Mark says, respect, so he says, number one, Anthony Carter, respect the number one jersey and honor the tradition or take it off.
I'll be honest with you, I'm like, at this point...
I'm actually shocked he even got it, even last year.
I mean, bro. I mean, yeah, you kind of got it.
You're a wide receiver, and
I mean,
they let you have that.
That's like a rite of passage. I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, dude, like the way our receivers play in terms of most of their values in blocking. How about we just get rid of typical receiver numbers and just put an offensive lineman number out there? It had them with 75 and 65 and all that stuff, because that's most of their value. They're not really utilized like real receivers.
Oh my
just saying. Like, why the hell am I running number one and I'm only getting like 2 targets,
one pass a game?
One pass.
That's why here's one, because he gets one target.
Really, one. Your number is reflective of the targets you get. Ronnie Bell 8 targets. Cornelius Johnson 6. I'm not even sure about that.
Someone put in the chat, we are in prevent offense. Oh my god.
Yes, yes, thank you. Prevent the defense from getting the ball.
I've never heard that before.
Yes,
That's incredible.
prevent the defense from getting the ball. Hey, Jen, what about scoring the ball? Well, number one thing is we want to prevent turnovers. Okay, but how about getting the ball in the end zone? That's good. I like that.
That is hilarious. Nate says Andrew left his game in East Lansing last year. He's kind of got a point.
Yeah.
Sports Talk 101 says, is Michigan a CFP team without Blake Corum? I say no.
No. But you're a CFP team based on the final result. So
I think it would be
they wouldn't be here without Blake Corum. I'll put it that way. He's integral to their whole team from a performance standpoint and leadership as well.